it's Daph, and I'm back for a new episode of Eye to Eye. I'm very excited for this one because it's a topic about healing and that the world really needs healing right now. So thank you, Mike, for being here with me today, for taking the time
Thank you.
to talk about shamanism. Shamanism. Before starting, I wanted to read out loud a quote that I found about shamanism. The shaman no longer looks for meaning in life, but brings meaning to every situation. The shaman stops looking for truth and instead brings truth to every encounter. You don't look for the right partner, you become the right partner. And then the right partner finds you. It's a very active practice focused on healing. It's so beautiful. I think that the work of a shaman is really to be the link between the invisible and the visible, and to be the healer. It's important for me to talk about this healing. First of all, for you, how would you describe shamanism?
So for me, basically, well, first, thank you, Daph, for having me. It's really a huge pleasure to share something that is so dear to me and something I'm so passionate about since over 10 years now. I've been on the path of this interesting field of shamanism. And well, first, let me maybe quickly explain. A shaman is something that usually you don't choose to be or become a shaman. It is, if you really go back to the shamans in indigenous cultures, it was always something where the village or the community felt that there is a person that has intuitive healing capabilities, kind of the priest of the town. Now I really feel, and this is my personal opinion, that it is really the time now for everything wants to be seen.
Yes.
And so we are all confronted to look at our family history, to look at the stories, look at the patterns, look at the trauma that maybe our great-great-parents, our lineage had to go through. And so we are really here now, the generation that is at the moment living on this beautiful planet, it has really the responsibility and also this beautiful opportunity to heal that. About 10 years ago, it just naturally came into my life. It was my stepmother that was a psychologist, and she just felt that just with talking she cannot really serve the people the way she would, and she found her way to shamanism and started working with shamanic practices. And I didn't really know what she was doing, and so she just invited me once for a session. It was about 1 hour. She just told me, you can lay down on the bed and just you don't have to do anything. And so she started whistling, and she started with a rattle, and it just immediately my whole body started reacting to it, and tears were just pouring down my face, and I it was like really like cracking open. And so of course I started digging more into it, and I just felt like, wow, as more I read about it, I hear about it, I watch videos and so on, the more I love this world of shamanism, because at the end shamanism is all about energies, and energy was always something in my life that I also had trouble with, because I had too much energy in school, and the teachers, were telling me you have ADHD and you cannot concentrate and so on. I had a couple of teachers who actually saw it, that power and that energy, and could use it. But the most part had difficulties. And just as my surroundings had difficulties with me, of course, I also had difficulties to fit in. And I dropped out of many schools. And so a lot of things started to make sense when I was digging deeper into this world of shamanism. And there was a time where I said, now I really want to learn from indigenous shamans. And I went to Peru. And basically what they say and what I learned and what struck me most is there are no positive or negative people. There is no positive or negative energy in that sense, but more there is light energy.
And dark.
Not dark, but heavy.
Okay, really?
Yes, when you're carrying a lot of weight and you're thinking about the problems, and you carry also the stories of your parents, and you're just carrying a lot of weight. And if you look at children, and these are really the biggest teachers for shamans, you look at children and you see how they have very, very light energy. They are running around, they are interested in things, they are trying out things, there is no judgment. And at least in the very beginning. And then we start, as we grow older, we start also to make assumptions, to judge. And also we feel more and more the heaviness of life. And so that was really interesting. That was kind of the first concept that I thought, wow, that's interesting. So they're not negative or positive people, but it's really about light energy and heavy energy. And so basically the shaman works a lot with energies. And so he has to be very intuitive to feel. And what he can do is he can transform heavy energy into light energy. And there are techniques for that. Some work with drumming, some work with plants, some work with flowers, some work with the energies of the mountains. And so it's really also all the shamanic traditions in the world, they all have their different techniques. And they are all interesting.
Thank you for that. Just to underline the fact that you've been chosen. And I think it's important to say that because I've watched a couple of documentaries where it was super clear that the person had no choice of being shaman, and that the forces would really keep bringing, keep reminding that person that she is. If you're trying to get away from it, it's important to just understand that we all have a mission and a hat to put on, and then we have to stay aligned to what we're born with. The shamanism, it's not related to any religion. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, totally. There's no teaching, there's no right or wrong. And that's the other thing that I love so much about this practice, that it is so individual and every situation is individual. And as you said in the very beginning, it is really to bring the sacredness of this experience that we have here on earth in every single second of your life. And that is a huge responsibility, but also it's tough. And sometimes I of course also in the daily life with working like a regular job and so on, and you just you forget sometimes every step I take here on earth is sacred, and every breath I take and every sip of water I take. And so when you understand that, and you don't need religion anymore, because religion becomes kind of rigid and almost man-made, and spirituality is just it is just open. I saw
everything.
It is individual, and nobody can be copied. Every person here, every human being on earth has its own path, its own story, and its own also communication and relationship to spirituality. So that's really an interesting question that you're asking, because it is something that is to bring sacredness into every second of our lives, and to be conscious. Then life becomes a blessing. And that is something that I think we have just forgotten.
Yeah, we forgot, but we're all, as a collective, we're here to help each other find our light again and our divineness.
We are walking each other home.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's what I love also about what's so fascinating to me about shamanism, because to me it represents just what's essential. And what's essential is nature, is animals, is earth, is energy, is light and love. Is through that we heal each other. For your experience, since you've become a shaman, what changed in you since you've taken that path?
Oh, it changed a lot of things. One of the things, for example, that it has done is I started drumming when I was in kindergarten. I asked for a drum set, and I didn't stop. I played for many years during also primary school, and drumming for me was everything. And then I lost it. I didn't drum for about 10, 15 years. And with shamanism, the drumming came back. But wow, I tell you, I mean, I started this shamanic path, and then it was just like, drums were just coming to me. I mean, people were giving me drums, like really as a gift. Like, I'm at this place here now, I'm at the school where I teach children also in percussion class. So I started doing that because I knew it's important to show also already children, how the energy and how to focus it. and I have about 20 drums now. So one of the things that it has changed, it has really brought the drumming back into my life, and I am immensely grateful for that, because the drumming helps me to reconnect. It helps me to go through difficult times. It helps me to channel my energy. It helps me to give me energy when I'm low. So that is one of the gifts that it has brought to me. Also working, you mentioned it, with nature and plants and animals. I mean, the shaman path is so much embedded into nature, because we are not part of it. Of course, we are nature, so it is, they work a lot with power animals. We all have kind of animals that are closer to us. It can go from a dolphin to a bear to a bee. They all have. Then you start thinking like, wow, every animal is mastering something. Ants are incredibly strong. Bees are incredibly busy and they get things done. And then you have the hummingbird, which is a very important animal in shamanic traditions, that only drinks this beautiful bird with all the colors. And you have the jaguar that stands for capabilities, and you have the snake that is able to shed its skin every month, so growing into completely something new. So shamanism for me is also it is the universe at its best.
I think it's also time that we remember that we cohabiting with animals, and we're so the man like tends to just put himself on top, and we have so much to learn. And you're talking about ceremonies. If you can just like tell us how it works, how do you prepare a ceremony as a shaman, and how does it actually go?
For me personally, what works best is actually when I don't really prepare that much. I mean, I do prepare, but it's really coming kind of naturally. And then also I have become quite good in adapting then to the situation. I mean, and it's all based on feelings, on my own feelings. So if I have to be very intuitive, and if I feel that, for example, now it's the time for loud drumming, we need power now, energy is coming low, then I do that. When I feel that now it needs something very sweet, very fine, then I bring the energy back down. So you start working with that. But what's really important is every ceremony has a beginning and it has an end. And what happens in between, it is every time it is different. That's what also is so beautiful, no? In terms when I introduce the start, then I call the 4 directions to have the power of the 4 directions, and I open up to Father Sky, and I connect everybody with Mother Earth. And so we just feel that there is, wow, like we are like up above, like everything is open, we are free, we can fly. We have this openness, and then the earth at the same time, Mother Earth, our Patra Mama, she's holding us at the same time. So it is this, it creates this setting of feeling, wow, like here I feel comfortable, I can let go. In these ceremonies, it is when you have this sacred space, and the soul feels it can really come back. And when we have traumatic events, sometimes the soul, it can be also a car accident, for example. And then because it's such a shock for the body, for the physical body, the soul leaves the body. And sometimes what happens is that the soul kind of gets lost in the spirit world, and it doesn't fully come back. And people from that event, they feel always a bit lost in life, and they don't feel fully in their life force. They always feel that there is something missing, but they don't know what it is. And so when you create that ceremony and that sacred space, then you can really call all the pieces of soul that might be, that might not be there. You can call them back, and they come back. And once it comes back, then of course also it creates so much
Emotions. Oh my God.
Emotions, and then tears stream down, and it's a lesson, and I'm learning every time, and I think it will go on like this. I think I will never arrive to a point where I think now I know everything, or I know I can handle it, because there are always lessons again, but that's the beauty. I mean, we keep learning for life.
People coming together at the right time, where the soul needed exact right time, because the soul chooses to heal at that time, and everything comes and align itself to that particular moment, and you open the door. And thank you for doing that, because it's just you changing people's life, and you putting them back, you align them to be their true self, and then to hold their true potential. So it's beautiful. When you drum, I presume that you get in this trance, right? And do you remember what you experienced when you drum?
Yeah, I try. For example, last evening I had my eyes almost closed for 4 hours. I really the journey is inward, because just as much as the others, I ask the participants to travel inwards. Then I do it myself as well. So we all travel inwards, and so my eyes are closed most of the time, and I try to drum myself into trance.
And you use you talked briefly about the plant medicine. So you use automatically, or you use like mushrooms, or nothing, or it depends?
So there are beautiful gifts from Mother Nature that have unfortunately been scheduled, as drugs. That is so wrong in so many ways. Because I mean, there are indigenous cultures that have been, with a lot of respect and sacredness, been using these plants as teachers and also as guides, because they are completely powerful to help you transform things that sometimes would take years of psychotherapy, talking about it and so on. But these plants, they help you really to dive into, and then within 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours, you can just transform, and you're making huge steps. However, you have to work with huge respect. And there are many ceremonies where I work with just with the energies. I work with just the energy of the drumming, or I work with flowers, or we go under a waterfall and just let ourselves, be cleaned by the waterfall, by Mother Nature. And that is, to only work with like there's one ceremony, it's called despacho. It is a ceremony of gratitude, where with flowers, you actually you are doing a mandala, like a beautiful mandala, colorful, with real flowers, and you put in all your hopes and gratitude for life, for anything, your cat, your children, your parents, whatever, your brother, your sister, the house or car, just everything you have in life, you are grateful for, and you put that inside, and so it holds a lot of energy. And when I experienced that was really beautiful and really powerful. And so for me, it is not one way or the other, but it is all the techniques have their power, and sometimes I like to combine everything together.
I like that, because for me, we have the tools inside, we have everything inside, and to really also work with that, with our energy, and just you telling that story, I felt grateful, for everything. Just in my head, it was like, oh, you're grateful for this. It's so powerful, the mind and the soul and the spirit. It's so powerful. And can you show us a little bit of drumming, or you want to do it later?
Oh, for sure, with pleasure. This is a shamanic drum that is often used in ceremonies, and to go into this meditative state. And interesting is that in the back you often have this cross that represents also the 4 directions. So when you hold this, you really feel that you are wherever you are the center of the universe, and that is where the energies should come together. So you are home wherever you are, you know.
Yes.
Always feel powerful. There is not one place where you feel more powerful than another, but it is always where you are. And so you call the four directions. You call south, you call north, east, and west, and then you start drumming.
Nice. Woo! That was great. I can't imagine that being around a fire and with all like the energies of everybody. Collective energy must be crazy. Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you
You're
for that.
very welcome.
I feel like it's a cleaning.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I mean, in circles, in ceremonies, I walk sometimes around and I play for each individual, and it goes deep, you know. The rhythm is the first thing we hear, you know, when we are in the belly of our dear mothers, and we hear the heartbeat of the mother. Yeah. So it's really, and it's loud. I don't know, but I assume it's quite loud when you are when you're in the belly and you hear the heartbeat of your mother. And so beat and rhythm, it is right there. It is core human. It is something where we come from, and it touches the people. And I can really drum, and then when I see that they are going through something and maybe also challenging things, I can
you
really
feel it, and
I can sing and drum for them individually, and I can transform that, and so it's
transmute. Yeah. Beautiful.
Then I can clean that, and it is. So that's why I said in the beginning. I mean that drumming came back. You know, it is such a blessing.
It's amazing. And you brought something else with you?
Yes. So this is a traditional mesa, it's called. It's a medicine bundle from the Pacos, from the Andes. Basically, it's a mirror of yourself. So what you do is you create this medicine bundle for yourself, and you put objects inside that are dear to you. These can be pictures, stones, whatever, coins, whatever you find. And so if you start just taking it in your hands, like once a day, you know, you start a relationship with that, and you start working with it, and so it becomes it's like a natural love story, like it's like a relationship you start.
It's a healing, right?
Yeah, and it becomes, the more you work with it, the more powerful it becomes. And sometimes you can open it when there is a full moon, and you can also place the stones in a beautiful way. You can like create a mandala with it, and then you close it again. Sometimes you keep it open for weeks, and then you just have a thought like, oh, I feel like closing the mesa today, and then you do it, you know. And also, for example, when I go traveling, I always try to keep a little space in the suitcase, and I take it with me, because all the stories that I create,
it's a little extension of your energy, right?
Yes.
At that time, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Sometimes I have it, you know. I lie down, I just have it on my heart, you know. It is always here. It is like it's a mirror. Yeah.
Cool. It would be a good activities with the kids too.
Yeah, I did, you know, I have two girls.
Yeah, two daughters.
And this is the one from Sandrine. So we yeah, she did
She's 5 years old.
She's 2. And this one is from Fleur.
So cute.
Yeah.
Rainbow colors.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that Fleur now already sometimes just comes to me and like, Daddy, can we do a ritual for the mesa? Can we open it? And then I you know, I said yes, of course. And then we put the blanket, and we create. I try to show them how does it feel to create this sacred space, and then we open it, and she makes a mandala herself, and I make a mandala with mine. And
that's beautiful sharing. Yeah. If you had to like talk to just a classroom of kids to just introduce shamanism, how, in a couple words, how would you, for people even that they're watching and I feel like but they feel beginners, or what would you want them to take off of this interview? Very simple, even if it's a word.
To trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trust. That's the word. Trust, guys. Trust universe, trust life. Cool. Thank you so much for it. And do you have, I believe, a website where people can check it out? So it's the goldenpath.ch?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And why the golden path?
Yeah, there is a logo to it as well that represents the 4 directions, and in the very middle, you have the symbol, which is the Inca of the Inca Empire, and then you have also this golden path that basically reminds you on your soul path, that you come here for. You have a reason. This is the big question also. What am I here for? This is the big question that we all have, and it's a beautiful question. And so what is why I called it golden path is I would like to, what I'm already doing, I mean, trying to help people reconnect or just connect with their golden path. And interesting enough is that the shamans I learned with the Pacos, they say that there is a silver book and there is a golden book, and the golden book is the golden path, and this golden book is the story that is already written for you, and it is your soul's purpose here on earth, to be in service in any way. You know, you can be a teacher, you can work in a hospital, you can whatever, you can be a musician, whatever, you can bring art. Then there is the silver book, kind of the silver path, and that book you can paint colorful, and you can write the stories you want. You can go in any directions, you can make mistakes, you can you can say, I want this, I want that, I want to go that way. As
the experiences.
Yeah, it is not that's because it would be boring if the whole life and every situation would be already written, and you kind of just everything is already done. And no, there is a responsibility to make life colorful yourself.
Well, that's how I see it. Really, the golden path is the, as you said, the soul mission, but the silver book is really the free will that we have. Thank you so much for that time, Mike. It was amazing talking to you about it, and thank you for the work you're doing to bring the golden path to people, to just to just remind them. It's just right here. Remind them.
Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love to share. Thank you so much for having me, Daphnée. All the best for your golden path.
Thank you. And guys, I recommend you guys just give a try. Just look it up with shamanism, and to have a different experience of healing, and to go back to what's essential. So again, thank you, and I see you soon, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys for watching the video until the end, and don't forget to subscribe with the red button somewhere here. Thank you for the support.